That's see, man.
All right, so what you just saw there was a son who transitioned to a woman while his father was in jail for 20 years. Can you imagine the surprise that the father will have when he sees his son for the first time after 20 years of being in prison? This is seeing his son for the first time. So this has to be a dramatic surprise for the father. And we're going to get in the video, but before I take you to the video, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you stay in with the God's truth has going on, if you don't miss out any interviews, debates, or commentaries such as this one. As I just said, this video it's a short TikTok video, not very long. I think it's only like 45 seconds, but I did want to comment on this short video because I can only imagine the devastation that this father is feeling after seeing his son. So let's see this father's reaction, and then I'm going to comment on it. Let's check it out.
That's see, man.
Hey!
What's up, boy?
Can you imagine a father seeing his son after 20 years in prison, and you go to prison with your son looking one way, looking like a little boy, and then you come out and your son is dressed as a girl with makeup on his face and everything, talking like a girl, mannerisms like a girl. But you went to prison for 20 years and you come out and your son has become a woman and dressing like a woman, but are attempting to behave like a woman. What do you say? Like, what could you say? You could tell on the face of the father, he's trying to keep his composure. He does not want to make the situation awkward, because after all, this is his first time seeing his son after 20 years, right? This has to be I would think a horrible surprise to him, right? After 20 years of being in prison, your son dresses, he's surprised, he sees his son dressed as a girl.
What you do, take a class?
So is you surprised?
Kinda.
You ain't no kind of surprise. Was it worth the wait?
Yeah, it's alright. Love you.
I didn't think you guys was gonna come this soon.
Did you even suspect it, Gregory?
Did you suspect that you Granny?
What you say?
Did you even suspect it?
Not really.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow, because I think it was a surprise for the son as well. So the son wasn't expecting to see his father, right? The son wasn't expecting to see his father 20 years. So this was a total surprise to him. And I can imagine the disappointment that the father was probably holding inside to see his son dressed like this. But I also want to make an emphasis on the idea that a father, this is why fathers are extremely important. Because what fathers are, they're the ones that scope and shape their sons to be men. And the mothers are the ones that shape and scope their daughters to be women. And a combination of the two, the woman and the man, that it helps the children get an understanding of both positions and why there is man and woman in the household. So when you are a father and you depart from your child for 20 years to prison, you can imagine how damaging that is. Now, this young man is attempting to find himself, right? He tries to find himself. He's probably dealing with the internal battles of, I like to think, homosexuality or whatever it is, gender dysphoria is what they call it. All these things are probably battling inside this young man. But because he doesn't have a father to sort of guide him along the struggles of this path and to assist him in his struggles and to shape him and to encourage him to be a man, now you have a situation where the father returns and his son has attempted to become a woman. The tragedy, the frustration, the disappointment in this is unspeakable, right? If you can just imagine yourself, like, God forbid, one of my sons turn out to be like this. I pray that God doesn't permit such things to happen. Just imagine for a second if one of your children turned out this way. You'll be absolutely devastated to see your child after 20 years and they turn out this way, right? They turn out in this direction, this trajectory, right? So you can imagine how this father is feeling, how frustrated this father is from seeing his son. And it's a sad thing, right? The first instance is to sort of laugh about it, like, because you're looking at the facial expressions on a father's face and he's trying to keep a straight face. He's trying to keep his composure. He's trying not to lose himself because this is the first time that he's seeing his son and he doesn't want to give off a bad impression, right? That he's not happy to see his son. But you got to believe that after this situation was over, the father had to be hurt. He had to be devastated. But at the same time, the father, in some capacity, probably has some of the blame to fall on him because he wasn't there for 20 years. He wasn't there for the teenage years. He wasn't there during the most important times of his son's life to scope him, to mold him, to help him along a path to, pray that he's a believer, to draw, to disciple him, his son. And so a part of the blame is the blame on him because this is the type of things that happen. Some young men trend this way as far as trying to be a woman. Some young men trend more to violence, drug use, alcoholism. And a lot of that reasoning is not only obviously the sinful nature has desires, but also the father is missing at home. So this should be an example for all the fathers out there that you are important and you need to be in your children's lives, because the fact is that none of our children are impervious to the culture, are impervious to the cultural influences that are out there. That's why we need to guard our children and keep our children and call them to submission to Christ and to raise them up in the way they should go so they will not depart far from it, right? And so just want to show this video as an example of what happens when you depart from your children for a long time, when you're an absentee father. This is a possibility of what can be the outcome. All right, that's all I have for you in this video. I pray that this video was a blessing. And remember, make sure you subscribe to The Gospel Truth. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any interviews, debates, or commentaries. All right, take care. God bless.